So I've had this new experience since being in this world, this financial world, dealing with hedge funds and exchanges and other folks who are customers. And it's really around product and the commercial contract and the role that the commercial contract plays in the product. In the past, so much of the product, or a huge part of the product, most of the product, the vast majority of a product that was sold, almost all of it was about the software, right? And what you see on the screen. And I'd never worked with a commercial contracts attorney going back and forth with red lines on the particulars of an engagement that a customer might have with us. And it was, I was in the MarTech space, vertical SaaS. People would come to the website. They'd find what they wanted to buy. They'd click the purchase button, and that was it, right? You'd have terms of service, and they'd either buy it and agree to the terms of service by buying, or they wouldn't. There wouldn't be all this back and forth with attorneys. And a new experience that I'm having in the financial world is just how much of the product and what you're charging for is the contract itself, right? The legal arrangement that you have with the person on the other end of the line. Often a business might come to you, or I'll just describe an experience I had. A business came to me. They wanted essentially a version of the product that we have posted on our website at nomics.com. But they wanted a bunch of stipulations in there, right? Around confidentiality, guarantees, SLAs, uptime, response time, indemnification, liability, etc. And we had to charge a lot more for it. And one of the reasons why we had to charge a lot more for it is because we had to pay a damn attorney. Actually, I really like our commercial contracts attorney. But before this whole experience, I'd never even heard the term commercial contracts attorney. I didn't know that you just went to whoever your corporate attorney was and they jimmied up a contract for you and things would mostly work. But now this is like a thing that we do, right? And you have to charge more because you have to pay an attorney, but also because you have to spend a whole bunch of your time going back and forth on the particulars of the agreement. And also because, when you're doing B2B sales, especially in the financial world, it's just important to consider how much the value of what you're providing comes through, various guarantees and assumptions of liability, et cetera. And it's hard to calculate sometimes, what's being given and what's being taken, especially if you're not very experienced. And it's really hard to find research on what the prices, what the price points are associated with pretty niche deals that, where there isn't a lot of market information or means for price discovery out there around the cost. So when I think about an offer in the, in vertical SaaS where people just go to a website and buy something, I think about an offer consisting of price. How much does it cost? What are the guarantees? Do you have a 30-day money back guarantee or something like that? What is the time frame? Is it a monthly plan? Is it a quarterly plan? Is it a yearly plan? Are there any bonuses that you're providing when someone purchases? Maybe you throw in a training course, or I don't know. I think it's sometimes fun to include bonuses in a product. Things like that, right? And with commercial contracts, there's just so many more elements to the offer. Right? Are there SLAs? Are you making guarantees? If the SLAs aren't met, what does someone get? Are there clawbacks around the contract? do they get additional months of free service? Are they allowed to renegotiate at that point? What kind of liability is in place? What's the indemnification? Is there confidentiality? If someone purchases a product from you and you're selling data, what of that data are they allowed to redistribute? Can they resell it? Can they resell it under only certain circumstances when things are repackaged in a specific way? Damn, there's a lot to this. And so, when I started Nomics, sometimes people ask me, like, what are things that you anticipated and didn't anticipate? And I think I did not anticipate that I would be spending this much time going back and forth around, commercial contracts and commercial contract negotiations, and that this would require not just so much time in terms of my hours, but in terms of the time span that transpires during these discussions, right? Where the other party has to go to their corporate counsel, and their corporate counsel will have comments, and then that'll get fed back to me, and then I got to send it to my corporate counsel and all that. It can take a long time. And because that takes so much time, you need to charge for the time that takes as part of the product, right? Like, you can't ultimately give that away for free. Anyway, there's a lot of great lessons I'm learning, and this has been one of them. And I'm actually at the end of the day, I really enjoy this aspect of it. I think I'm learning a lot, but it was something that I did not anticipate when I first started. All right. That is the podcast for today. Take care. Bye. Hey, thanks for listening. If you liked this content, please help me out by leaving a review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts. It provides me with encouragement and it helps other people find the program. Also, if you have a question that you'd like me to answer on the podcast, go to asknomics.com, leave me a question, and I'll do my best to answer it in the next few days. Thanks for listening, and see you tomorrow.